Hey, Butch Patrick here, and welcome to another segment of Coach to Coast. This is kind of an interesting segment. As everybody knows, I was a child actor, and when you consider the child actors over the last 75 to 100 years, you always hear of the Jackie Coogan Law. And Jackie Coogan was the child actor in the 20s and 30s. He made a fortune, and his parents spent all his money. And they actually enacted a law called the Jackie Coogan Law to protect other kid actors from having their money disappear through, unfortunate situations like family. But what you may not know is Jackie Coogan was also on The Addams Family. And Never in Hollywood had two shows been on that were of similar nature, same 2 years, Thursday night for us, Friday night for them, and they went out at the same time. You may have preferred The Addams Family or you may have preferred The Munsters, but the chances are you watched us both, which benefited both our existence. Jackie Coogan actually came to the set one day. I remember Uncle Fester on the Munsters set, that caused quite a stir. We weren't shot at the same studio. A lot of people think, out in Hollywood, everybody works together. That's really not quite the case. They were at Screen Gems, we were at Universal, but he was a friend of Al Lewis and Fred Gwynne and came on the set. And I was lucky enough to meet him. I was 11 years old at the time. That was about the age he was when he was making all his money. And he was a very sweet guy. It was the only time I ever got to meet him, to be honest with you. I am friends with Lisa Loring, Wednesday Addams, and I had met John Astin, and I was friends with Ken Weatherwax, who passed away. And here's an interesting thing that maybe a lot of people don't know. I actually played Pugsley Addams on a one-off TV show called The Addams Family Funhouse. I believe it was in 1974. I think I was 21 years old. It was really not a very good show. That's why I only made one of them. Well, we had Jim Nabors as a guest, so that was our highlight. We had Jim Nabors, Gomer Pyle himself, came on and sang.
Understand the way I feel.
Which, by the way, is a very good singer if you didn't know that. You probably already do. So we're going to be talking about the Jackie Coogan Law and Jackie Coogan himself, Uncle Fester, in this upcoming segment. John Leslie Coogan, better known as Jackie Coogan, was born in Los Angeles, California in 1914. He began performing as an infant in both vaudeville and film with an uncredited role in the 1917 film Skinner's Baby. Charlie Chaplin discovered him in the Orpheum Theater, a vaudeville house in Los Angeles, on the stage doing the shimmy, a dance popular at the time. Jackie Coogan was a natural mimic and delighted Chaplin with his abilities. Chaplin cast him in a small role in A Day's Pleasure. He was Chaplin's irascible companion in The Kid. And the following year, he played in the title role of Oliver Twist, directed by Frank Lloyd. Coogan was one of the first stars to be heavily merchandised. Peanut butter, stationery, whistles, dolls, records, and figurines were among the Coogan-themed merchandise on sale. In 1935, 20-year-old Coogan was the sole survivor of a car crash in eastern San Diego County that killed his father, his best friend, 19-year-old actor Junior Durkin, their ranch foreman Charles Jones, and actor and writer Robert J. Horner. As a child star, Coogan earned an estimated $3 to $4 million. When he turned 21 in October 1935, his fortune was believed to be intact. His assets had been conservatively managed by his father until the time of his death. After passing of his father, Coogan's mother and stepfather managed his accounts and proceeded to spend the entire amount. Coogan sued them in 1938, but after his legal expenses, he received about $126,000 of the $250,000 remaining from his vast earnings. The legal battle focused on child actors and resulted in the 1939 enactment of the Child Actors Bill, often referred to as the Coogan Law or the Coogan Act. When he fell on hard times and asked Charlie Chaplin for assistance, Chaplin handed him $1,000 without hesitating. Coogan enlisted in the U.S. Army in March of 1941. With his glider pilot aeronautical rating and rank of flight officer, he volunteered for hazardous duty with the 1st Air Commando Group. After the war, Coogan returned to acting. In 1964, Coogan landed his most famous television role as Uncle Fester in ABC's The Addams Family.
No, when people insulted me, I always turned the other cheek.
Well?
I ran out of cheeks. No, there's only one way to settle this.
After the show ended, Coogan played parts in many popular series such as Perry Mason, The Brady Bunch, I Dream of Jeannie, and The Partridge Family. Coogan was married 4 times and had 4 children. His first 3 marriages to actresses were short-lived. He and Betty Grable were married in 1937, but divorced just 3 years later. Coogan suffered from heart and kidney ailments in his last remaining years. In 1984, he suffered several strokes and was undergoing kidney dialysis when his blood pressure dropped. Coogan was taken to Santa Monica Hospital, where he passed away from cardiac arrest. At his request, Coogan's funeral was open to the public, and he was buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City. Every child actor owes this man a debt of gratitude. He lost millions, but because of him and the laws that were changed, other kids were protected, and that's a good thing. So to Mr. Coogan, thank you for your service. Subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, and we'll see you on the next segment.